A Great Great Christmas, written by Mr. Fantastic.
Snowflakes drifted past the window as Brittney snuggled deeper between Mom and Dad on the couch, their matching red and green pajamas, soft and warm. The Christmas tree twinkled in the corner, covered in ornaments that did not all match, but each held a story from somewhere they had lived. Some ornaments were shiny glass from fancy stores, while others were gifts from friends around the world in past Christmases. On the coffee table lay a thick photo album with a shiny gold title that read, "Our Christmases Around the World." Dad wrapped his arm around Brittney's shoulders and tapped the cover with a smile. "How about a Christmas trip around the world, without even leaving the couch?" he asked. Brittney nodded eagerly, her curly hair bouncing. "Can we start from the very beginning? I want to see every Christmas. Japan, Germany, and all the places in between." She pulled the soft blanket up to her chin, getting ready for takeoff the way she always did on real flights. Mom opened the album slowly, as if the pages might release bells and songs from faraway places. On the first page, there was a picture of baby Brittney in Hawaii, grinning at a tiny tree decorated with shells and starfish. In the picture, tiny waves curled behind their little tree, and the sky was the bright, soft blue of a warm winter that did not need coats. "This was your very first Christmas," Mom said softly. "But you were too little to remember, so tonight we'll remember our Christmases overseas." Even though Brittney did not remember it, she liked knowing that her very first Christmas had sand instead of snow. Mom turned a few pages until a photo of a crowded city street filled with lights and signs in another language appeared. "Which Christmas was your favorite?" Brittney asked, her eyes shining. "That's impossible," Mom laughed. "Each place gave us its own kind of Christmas magic. Let's look through them together, and you can decide which one feels the most special to you." Brittney scooted closer, so she would not miss a single word of the stories. The next page showed 2-year-old Brittney standing in front of a bright shop window in Japan, her pink coat zipped up to her chin. Behind the glass hung strings of lights, decorations, and a tree covered in star and bell ornaments. "You were just 2 when we moved here," Mom said. "New language, new foods, new holidays. We were nervous about being so far from home for Christmas." Brittney did not know the words on the glowing signs, but she understood the sparkle in Mom's eyes when Mom squeezed her hand. A second picture showed the same street, now crowded with people carrying wrapped packages under glowing signs. "Christmas in Japan isn't always about staying home," Dad explained. "Many people go out to see the lights, shop, and share special meals." "We learned that Christmas could change its clothes depending on where we lived, but the feeling underneath was still the same," Mom said. Brittney ran her finger along the photo. "I like that," she said. "Christmas changing its clothes." Mom turned to a photo of little Brittney sitting at a low table, cheeks round, hands reaching for a big box of crispy fried chicken. "In Japan, lots of families eat fried chicken for Christmas instead of turkey. So we did too," Mom said. "We even had to order it days ahead because so many people wanted Christmas chicken." "The food was different," Dad added, "but we still held hands around that little table and said what we were thankful for. Even far from our old home, we made our own little Christmas corner right there on that tiny table," Mom said. "We called it Crispy Christmases," Mom smiled. "The food was different, but holding hands around that little table felt just right." Mom flipped to a photo of a bright, round cake covered in fluffy white cream and shiny red strawberries. In Japan, bakeries make special cakes just for Christmas. Soft sponge cake with whipped cream and strawberries on top, Mom explained. So Japanese Christmas tasted like chicken and cake, Brittney decided, crunchy and sweet. She laughed at the picture of herself with cream on her nose, like a little icy mountain had landed there. Back on the couch in Phamville, Brittney leaned against Dad's shoulder, thinking about those Japan pictures. I don't remember everything, she admitted, but I like hearing the stories. Memories can be shared like presents, Dad said. Sometimes the grown-ups hold on to the big ones until kids are ready to unwrap them. Japan taught us something important, Mom said quietly. Christmas doesn't have to look the same everywhere. It just has to feel the same, like being together and being loved. Mom flipped to a new page where slightly older Brittney stood under an archway made of glowing lights in South Korea, bundled in a pink hat and puffy coat. In South Korea, big cities put up huge light displays and towering Christmas trees, Mom said. Families walk around at night just to look, take pictures, and be together under all that sparkle. It looks like we're walking through a river of stars, Brittney whispered. That's exactly how it felt, Mom nodded. Families walk around at night just to look, take pictures, and enjoy being together under all that sparkle. The next photo showed Brittney tying a small note to a decorated tree branch, paper wishes fluttering in the winter air. That's a wishing tree, Dad said. People wrote hopes for the new year and hung them where everyone could see, Mom explained. Health, good grades, safe travels. Brittney squinted at the tiny letters in the picture. Did I wish for Dad to come home safe? She asked softly. Dad's eyes softened. You did, he said lovingly. Brittney stared at the tiny paper wish and felt her chest tighten, remembering how long some goodbyes had been. And you wished for more Christmases with your family, Mom said. That was all you wanted, more Christmases with us. The album turned to photos filled with warm, golden light shaped like giant stars. This was the Philippines, when we visited during one Christmas season, Mom said. Those star lanterns are called parols. In the Philippines, families hang parols outside their homes, and they shine for weeks, like little reminders of hope in the night, Dad added. Brittney stared at the soft lights in the photo. They look like stars that came down to live with us, she whispered. Another picture showed a busy parol market, lanterns of all sizes and colors glowing overhead while Brittney pointed at the brightest one. I picked the brightest one, didn't I? Brittney asked. Dad chuckled. You sure did. You said you wanted the star that could guide Santa's sleigh all by itself. When we hung it outside, our whole street seemed to glow a little warmer, and we always knew which home was ours because our star was waiting, Mom said. Mom turned one more page, showing a street lined with glowing paroles stretching far into the distance. In the Philippines, people start decorating and playing Christmas music months before December, and the season stretches all the way into January, Dad explained. Brittney giggled at the idea of Halloween Christmas songs. It was like the world didn't want Christmas to end, Brittney said. Every night under those lanterns felt like walking through extra weeks of joy. It felt to her like the whole country had decided that joy should not be rushed. Mom rested her hand on the edge of the album, pausing on a photo of their family hugging in front of an apartment building lit for the holidays. Those years in Asia went by so fast, she said. One day we were ordering Christmas chicken, walking through rivers of lights, and hanging pearl stars. The next, we were packing boxes and saying goodbye. Brittney remembered pressing her face to the airplane window, watching the lights grow smaller and smaller, wondering if the stars in their new home would look the same. It's hard to leave, Brittney said softly. It is, Dad agreed. But we didn't leave everything behind. We carried the stories, the decorations, and the feelings with us. Dad turned the page to a photo of Brittney standing between her parents at a German Christmas market, wooden stalls glowing with evergreen branches and golden lights. In Germany, towns fill their squares with markets in December, Dad explained. People shop for gifts, drink warm drinks, and eat special holiday treats. I remember the smell, Brittney said. It smelled like spicy nuts and sweet waffles. Mom laughed. You held your cup with both hands to keep warm, just like in the picture. Brittney remembered the smell of roasted chestnuts, cinnamon, and something warm and sweet that wrapped itself around her like a scarf. German Christmas looked like a storybook, Brittney murmured. Snowy cobblestones, sweet smells, and lights everywhere. The next page showed a close-up of Brittney holding a tiny carved wooden star ornament in her mittens. This is when you chose our special German ornament, Mom said. We still have that star, Brittney said. It's on our tree right now. You picked it out all by yourself, Dad smiled. You said we needed a travel star to follow us wherever we went. This is when you chose our special German ornament, Mom said. You called it our travel star so it could follow us wherever we went. Mom flipped to a picture of a row of small boots lined up neatly by the door, one shiny pair clearly Brittney's. Do you remember St. Nicholas Day? Dad asked. Yes, Brittney exclaimed. In Germany, children put their clean boots out on the night of December 5th. And in the morning, St. Nicholas fills them with fruit, nuts, and sweets if they've been good, Mom explained. You scrubbed your boots so hard, your arms got tired, Dad teased. Then you raced to the door at sunrise and squealed when you saw oranges and chocolates tucked inside. The next set of pictures looked very different. Brittney and other children were gathered around a small log with a painted face, a red hat, and a cozy blanket. This was Spain, in a region called Catalonia, Mom said. We visited friends there one Christmas season while we lived in Europe. The funny log, Brittney laughed. That's Tio de Nadal, Uncle Christmas, Dad added. In Catalonia, children take care of the log like a pet. They keep him warm under a blanket so he can give them presents. Another photo showed Brittney placing fruit near the log, while a friend tucked the blanket snugly around it. You treated him like a pet and a friend, Mom said. You checked his blanket, told him stories, and made sure he had enough to eat. And then came the big day, Dad said. The photo showed children giggling and tapping the log with sticks. I remember the song, Brittney covered her mouth, grinning. We sang to help him poop the presents. Dad laughed. You certainly did. You could not stop laughing about the log pooping presents. As Mom turned another page, the photos changed again. Now there was a frosty window with snow piled outside and a row of shoes on the sill, including a bright little pair that belonged to Brittney. In Iceland, there are stories about the Yule lads, 13 funny visitors who come one by one before Christmas, Mom said. Children leave their shoes out, and each night a Yule lad can leave a small gift or sometimes a potato. Brittney laughed. I was so relieved when I found treats. I checked those shoes every single morning. The last Iceland photo showed the three of them wrapped in blankets on a couch, each holding a book, a Christmas tree glowing softly nearby. This is Jólabókaflóð, the Christmas book flood, Mom said softly. In Iceland, people love to give books and spend Christmas Eve reading together, Mom explained. We turned off most of the lights, drank hot chocolate, and just read, Dad said. No rushing, just stories and each other, while the wind stayed outside. It felt quiet, Brittney said, but not lonely. It was like the whole world took a deep breath and listened to the pages turning. Mom gently closed the album, and suddenly the living room in Phamville felt fuller to Brittney. She noticed the German star ornament glinting on the tree, the parol glowing softly by the window, the tiny log ornament with a painted face, and a little Japanese Santa tucked among the branches. "We really did bring the world home," she murmured. "Our living room is like a Christmas market, a lantern street and a book night all mixed together." They sat quietly for a moment, listening to the soft hum of the heater and the snow brushing against the window. "So," Dad asked gently, "after all those Christmases, which one is your favorite?" Brittney thought hard. She thought about the fried chicken from Japan, the lights from South Korea, the paroles from the Philippines, the markets from Germany, the funny log from Spain, and the quiet books from Iceland. Brittney hugged the album to her chest. "I like them all," she admitted. "I don't think I can choose just one." "Maybe you don't have to," Mom said. "Maybe your favorite Christmas is the one we're making out of all of them right now." Dad sat up a little straighter and suggested, "What if we make our own tradition that uses a little bit from everywhere we've been?" Brittney's eyes lit up. For the first time, Brittney felt like Christmas wasn't just something that happened to her when they moved. It was something she could help build, piece by piece, wherever they lived. "We can have fried chicken and strawberry cake," she said. "And put our boots by the door," added Dad. "And end the night reading new books by the tree," Mom finished. "A Christmas that's all ours." They gathered around the coffee table, eyes sparkling as Dad grabbed a piece of paper. He drew little stars and hearts along the top. They giggled and laughed as they made the list: pieces of crispy fried chicken, a fluffy strawberry-topped cake slice, boots by the door, the parol glowing in the window, the German star glinting on the tree, and a tiny log ornament smiling next to the presents. "We'll end the night with hot chocolate and a new book, with just the tree and the parol glowing," Mom said. "We'll call it Brittney's Great Great Christmas," Dad wrote at the top. "Little bit of everywhere we've been." Later that evening, Brittney leaned against Dad's shoulder and looked out at the falling snow. "What if we move again someday?" she asked quietly. "Will we have to leave our Christmas behind?" Dad shook his head. "No, sweetheart. Christmas isn't tied to a house or a country. It's tied to us. Wherever we go, we'll bring our stories, our little decorations, and our way of celebration. And maybe we'll collect even more traditions. Wherever we go, our Christmas grows with us," Mom promised. For a few heartbeats, no one spoke. The heater hummed softly, and the room glowed with light from the tree and parol. "Thank you for taking me everywhere, even when it was hard," Brittney said. "Thank you for being brave with us," Mom replied. "And for reminding us what really matters," Dad added. "It's not the country or the customs, it's this, right here." He leaned down and kissed the top of Brittney's head. "Thank you for being our reason to celebrate." "With all our Christmases together," she whispered, "I think tonight is my favorite of all." As bedtime approached, Mom turned off the main light, leaving only the tree, the parol, and one cozy lamp. She handed Brittney a wrapped book with a little bow on top, and Brittney nestled between her parents as they opened it together and began to read. As Dad's voice rose and fell with the story, the decorations from every country watched quietly from their spots, like old friends listening in. With all their Christmases shining quietly around them, Brittney smiled sleepily. "With all our Christmases together," she whispered, "I think tonight is a great, great night." Her eyes grew heavy, but her heart felt wide awake, full of all the great, great days still waiting somewhere in the world.
Did you know? Fun facts from around the world. Japan, a crispy sweet Christmas. Christmas dinner. While many people eat turkey or ham, in Japan, the most popular Christmas dinner is fried chicken. Families often have to order their chicken buckets days or weeks in advance because the restaurants get so crowded. The cake. Japanese Christmas cake isn't a fruit cake. It is usually a light, fluffy sponge cake covered in whipped cream and topped with fresh red strawberries. South Korea. Wishes and lights. Wishing trees. It's a tradition to write your hopes for the new year, like getting good grades or health for your family, on small notes and hang them on branches for everyone to see. Rivers of light. In big cities, huge light displays are set up that look like tunnels or rivers of stars. Families bundle up in coats just to walk through them and take photos. Philippines, the longest Christmas. Star of Hope. The star lanterns hanging outside homes are called parols. They are traditionally made to look like the Star of Bethlehem that guided the wise men. Never-ending holiday. The Philippines has one of the longest Christmas seasons in the world. People start decorating, playing Christmas music months before December, and the celebration lasts into January. Germany. Boots and markets. St. Nicholas Day. In Germany, the holiday magic starts early. Children clean their boots and leave them outside their door on the night of December 5th. If they have been good, they wake up the next morning to find them filled with chocolate, oranges, and nuts. Christmas markets. Towns set up outdoor markets in the winter where you can buy hand-carved ornaments like Brittney's wooden star and smell sweet treats like roasted nuts and waffles. Spain, Catalonia. The magic log. An unusual friend. In the Catalonia region of Spain, families bring home a log with a painted face and a red hat called Tiara de Nadal Uncle Christmas. Feeding time. Children treat the log like a pet. They feed it scraps of food and cover it with a blanket to keep it warm. On Christmas, they tap the log with sticks and sing a song, asking it to poop out presents and candy. Iceland. Books and Yule lads. The book flood. Icelanders love reading so much that they have a tradition called Jólabókaflóð, Christmas book flood. On Christmas Eve, families give each other new books and spend the night reading quietly while drinking hot chocolate. 13 visitors. Instead of just one Santa, Iceland has 13 Yule lads. These mischievous trolls visit one by one before Christmas. Children leave shoes on the windowsill hoping for treats. But if they've been naughty, they might get a potato instead. To every mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, and friend serving far from home this Christmas, we see your empty chair at the table, hear your laugh missing from our songs, and feel the quiet space where your hug should be. Every twinkling light on the tree, every ornament from places you've been reminds us of the Christmases we've shared, and the ones we're holding for you until you return. Your families miss you with an ache that snow can't cool and stars can't fill, but our love for you grows brighter with every passing day. You left pieces of your heart here with us, and we carry them gently, just like Brittney carries her memories around the world. We're so deeply grateful for your selfless service, for standing strong so we can gather safely, for every sacrifice that lets our light stay on. We support you in prayers whispered at bedtime, letters sent across oceans, and traditions we keep alive in your honor. You are loved beyond measure, missed beyond words, and waited for with open hearts. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Please come home safe to us soon. Other books by Mr. Fantastic. A Great, Great Day. Olivia's Brave Heart. The Ugly Caterpillar. From Cleats to Circuits. The Three Little Monsters. And this book, A Great, Great Christmas. Thank you for your support.